Hey, what's up, everybody? This is 24/7 Comics Live. Welcome. We have a party tonight, guys. Welcome.
Party.
Woohoo.
This is for all the people on my YouTube channel that think I don't have friends. I have friends.
Oh,
nice. I brought a bunch of people with me.
Yeah, Mickey definitely have friends. He's a popular guy. And, tonight we were chatting and we thought it'd be just really fun coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. We saw each other briefly, I think like in passing, literally all of us. And we felt like, we should just catch up live, especially with so much happening this time around. I think we could all attest that the San Diego Comic-Con was probably like the first one that felt like pre-pandemic con. So yeah, why don't we do a quick round of intros? I'm Choi, publisher, co-founder of 24/7 Comics here at 24/7 Comics Live. So we could make our rounds.
Well, guys, I'm Sara. I am the lovely Carl Choi's co-host and sidekick, cosplayer and collector, and just overall fan of everything in the industry.
You want to go?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Janie.
I'm Max.
We're the Omi homies. We're lovers of all collectibles and VV community members. Thanks for having us.
All right, I guess we'll go next. I'm Michelle Waffle.
I'm Justin Otero.
And we are part of the Shortbox Street team. However, we are also avid collectors of comics, toys. We have, oh my gosh, we cosplay. We kind of just do it all. Yeah, we moderate panels. We're literally everywhere.
They're not even joking. They literally are everywhere.
Yeah. No, but like really.
And you won't even notice because they might be in disguise.
That's right.
I'm Brian Bucciolato. I'm hardly anywhere. I'm a writer of comics and other stuff. Most recently, a couple books at Image and the event series Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong.
And I'm Swagglehos, otherwise known as Mickey, or I guess I'm Mickey, otherwise known as Swagglehos. And we're doing a co-stream. So we got the stream on 24/7 right now. We got the stream on my YouTube channel. And this will be a great conversation because I'm tired of hearing me talk. I'm sure people who watch me are tired of hearing me talk. So let's listen to other people's perspectives of how San Diego Comic-Con was.
I mean, there was a lot of news, a lot of events. We're missing one person. Courtney's going to join us shortly. But I think for us, we want to just keep the theme very light and simple. We'd love to hear from the audience in the chat as well. What was your favorite news? What was your favorite event? And then what are your pickups? So those are the three. So I think the easiest is really just to start with your favorite news. So Mickey, why don't you kick us off? We'll go backwards.
All right. Well, can I already say two things? I mean, this is kind of a cop-out answer, but the two pieces of my favorite news were one that applies to me, which is PSA entering graded comic books, which is kind of exciting. It's very interesting within the collectible world. A lot of conversation there. And then the other one, obviously, is the Robert Downey Jr. announcement. That's obviously very, very exciting, obviously, for many reasons. And so those two, I think, are the most sort of interesting. I mean, PSA was already, I already kind of knew about it, and the cat was already out of the bag, but, they definitely had a really popular booth. And so that was cool to get everyone's opinion on that. Cool to see, what people were talking about. And then the Robert Downey Jr. one was a surprise. And now everywhere you go on social media, everybody's talking about it.
So for those of you who don't know much about what happened with PSA, Mickey, would you mind kind of sharing your initial reactions to it?
Yeah. So in case you guys don't know, PSA is they're the grading company. They're sort of the market leader when it comes to trading cards. In the comic book world, there's a company called CGC, and they're the grading company that is kind of the market leader in comic book grading. And the biggest complaint for CGC is that they've kind of had a monopoly on the space for a long time. And PSA recently announced that they're going to open up a division to start grading comic books. So it's kind of a big deal. I mean, it's like now there's a new kid in school, and there's a lot of interest there, and people are excited about the competition, and still a lot of question marks, whether or not they're going to be a company that people use. But they're huge in the trading card world. Trading cards is like 10 times bigger than comic books. So they definitely have the resources and the name brand to compete. And so I think a lot of people who watch my YouTube channel are very, very interested to see what happens with this.
Yeah, I'll be interested too. As somebody who collects cards, there was a like this wave of new like graders, like around the time of the pandemic when PSA was like so busy that other companies popped up, and I got a bunch of cards graded by like HGA and a couple others, and it seems like nobody wants those.
Yeah.
Like so the resale is like it's almost better to like probably regrade them or to break them out. So I wonder, because PSA has this big footprint already, if they'll be able to sort of surpass the desired resale.
Yeah, definitely. Like the PSA, as far as like what things sell for on the secondary market, definitely get the most value. Like whether it's Pokemon or Magic the Gathering or baseball cards or whatever you put in there, like they sell for the most. So people think that name brand might carry weight with comic books, and so people are excited about that. At the very least, I think someone like yourself, like who is maybe in the trading card space, like I don't know, Brian, if you like grade a lot of your comic books, but if you have a PSA account, you might all of a sudden do that. So I think their audience is just big enough that it's going to be profitable no matter what for them. The question is, can they actually compete?
Right.
Do you guys like this look? I'm just kind of flipping back and forth between the front and the back, and curious on your thoughts, because I know Mickey has showed me kind of the day of launch and asked my thoughts, and I have a few things to say, but curious to actually, hey, Court, you are now with us. So Court, please welcome Court, everybody. You want to do a quick intro of yourself?
Sorry, my name is Courtney, and I don't know if you went through some of the questions that you emailed us already, but I just look forward to going over the San Diego Comic-Con recap. And I don't want to interrupt because this is looking really cool, but hello to everybody a lot of people I've met before, and I look forward to contributing. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's go. All right, Mickey. So Brian's my neighbor. We play Magic together, so we love the card grading side of things. So I actually do weirdly visually have always preferred CGC when it comes to card grading, but PSA is where all the value is at. So if you want your cards to be worth something, you gotta go PSA. They're also a little bit more strict, but you do get a premium when you do pre-sale. So when Mickey showed me this, I actually reacted. I wasn't super excited about it because I just felt like it looked dated, but that was before I saw the back. So I felt like they kind of parlayed their design update to the back, which I thought was kind of cool. And then in a way, their front is part of the legacy. And then I was like, oh man, that's kind of cool actually, because now it actually feels like they're not out of touch. They did this intentionally. So that was my reaction to it.
Yeah, I think their brand is their brand. That label looks like their sports card labels, and people make fun of their labels. They've been making fun of it for years. They call it like a prescription label because that's what it looks like. It looks like a something you got from your doctor, and so it didn't surprise me when they released the label. I mean, it's kind of that's the look, So I don't know what people were sort of expecting, but maybe it's fair to say that people in the comic world might be a little more art forward and aesthetic forward than say like a sports card collector who's just cares more about the card itself. So maybe there's more of that pushback, and I don't know, maybe I'm curious what Michelle and Justin think, from your guys' standpoint, if you guys think that this is like an ugly label or how you feel about it.
You want to go first?
I mean, I feel like it's ugly. Like,
Yeah.
Not aesthetically pleasing.
I mean, I like the back better than the front, but I like that CGC does those specialty labels. Sometimes like I'll even pay more. Like if a book has the same grade, but one of them has a specialty label, I would opt for that over like their typical yellow one. But I mean, if for consistency, like kudos to them for staying true to that, because it is kind of weird when, something doesn't like look great with all of your other graded items. I don't know. What do you think?
What takes precedent? The uniformity of like having your Marvel card in the same slab as your Marvel comic book, or is it the label aesthetic is more important?
I think from a collecting aspect, like if you're gonna display it, it's nice to see like a nice looking label.
This feels very like bright to me. So if I had this in a case or something, it wouldn't look. I don't think it would look aesthetically pleasing to myself. I feel like that bright white label would stand out, especially since like our collectible room is kind of dark. If I put it like in a cubby on a stand with some other things, you're just gonna see the back is more subtle.
Yeah.
Like that looks nicer to me. That bright white though, like oof. I mean, I love a bright white, but that's
Too much.
That's too much.
I don't know if you guys
Is it thinner?
Oh yeah, I mean that's a good question. Swaggle, is it thinner or is it wider as well, size wise?
Oh yeah. So the case is bigger than the traditional cases that the other companies use. It's way heavier, which heavy isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? It feels like quality when you pick it up, but from a practicality standpoint, like maybe that's a little much. If like you had a box of them, you had to carry it around at a show, like that would be rough. But I do think that they're going to shrink the sizes of it because it's definitely throwing the baby out with the bathwater situation where it's like you have a bigger case and it doesn't fit within like the other standardized company, like, you know, the graded company box that, you know, is called BCW, or like people have standardized shelves and stuff. So all of a sudden you're already disqualifying yourself from like an entire ecosystem of comic people. So they know that they have to change the size.
So that's something that's confirmed already. They already said that they're going to.
Yeah, I guess it's like sort of a verbally confirmed.
Yeah.
You know, this was their prototype, so they kind of know that they have to.
I mean, even that in itself, I'm actually really appreciative of their rollout because it doesn't seem like they're saying, "Hey, surprise! This is what we're doing." They're actually saying, "Hey, this is what we're thinking about doing." Was a community thing, and I think that's super important when it comes to, you know, the world that we live in here.
Yeah, I kind of fully expected that people were going to just tear it apart, you know, and say like, oh, it's ugly and people didn't like it. But, you know, they said that they're not going to launch until 2025. So this is the soft launch for them. And they're fully open to just being like, we want to hear everyone's feedback. And this is not final. And at the end of the day, they want people to like it. So they'll change to a degree. I think the PSA logo is the PSA logo and there's no way around that.
So, homies, Janie and Max, I know you guys are digital first. Any thoughts on this? I mean, I actually had a question about the QR code, but did you guys have any reactions to this PSA announcement?
Well, actually, I'm seeing it for the first time right now on this live, and I'm glad that they're trying to get feedback from the community because it looks just a bit boring to me. Like the front part, this back part with the QR code, I love it. And what would be cool is, like, let's say if we were talking about Vivi, if that QR code links you to your digital comic book. Like if you had the physical one and you could just scan that and it'll take you to your digital one, that would be really cool.
Yeah. It's funny that you think it's boring because I'm a fan of that classic look. Actually, I just think it looks cool. The retro just seems like it belongs with a comic book, like a retro comic book. I like it.
It is very retro. I feel like it's old school. It just feels a little boring, and hopefully they'll have, like Michelle was saying, hopefully they'll have those attachments to the different comic books and maybe different colors. I don't know if they'll change that since it kind of seems like PSA is uniform and kind of like sticks to their brand. But that back part, that QR code really interests me. And I hope that they do what I think they're going to do with that QR code. Fingers crossed. They're thinking digital format. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
The QR code actually works. It actually leads you to the PSA app.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
I'm scanned it right now. I thought that was very interesting. Do you know much more insights, Mickey? Did they release anything else in regards to the QR code and what that's going to be used for?
I could just guess. I'm sure that it'll, you know, it'll link to the grader's notes and information about the comic that's in the case and all that information. But yeah, I mean, there's so many possibilities of what they could do with it. That's the low hanging fruit. Like obviously you can sort of link to here's the info of the comic, but yeah, hopefully they can do more with that.
So the other thing that they did was a Kith collaboration. I only know about this because Kreese, one of the artists that works with us at 24/7 Comics, stood in line one day at like 8 a.m. just to get his hands on it. Does anyone know anything about this?
Yeah,
They've been doing that.
Was it with A6?
they did the same thing last year too, but they had the X-Men. It was like an X-Men blind box where you could get PSA graded card, and all the shoes were themed as some of the X-Men. So it was like,
Yeah, you could pick your size, but you couldn't
yeah,
pick
it was a blind
your
box.
character.
That was the bad thing about it.
Yeah, or the
Yeah.
fun thing about it.
Yeah, I guess if you didn't really care, but some of them weren't that great.
You know what's funny about it? I definitely didn't know what Kith really was until a couple months before they did this. They rolled this out, and so they only sold it on Thursday morning or Thursday and Friday. They had like two different sets. So in theory, so I say morning because like obviously you have to get there first. And so I woke up Thursday and I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll go pick one up. Like that would be cool. I'll go get one. And like, I kind of hustled my way and got in before doors open. So I was like, yeah, I'll get one, whatever. And I walked up to the line, and even at like the show floor opened at like technically 9:30. I think I was there at 9:05, and they're like, no, it's already sold out. I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
And so it's pretty crazy because they were selling basically it was a mystery box, and inside of it, all the boxes came with a pair of shoes from Kith. And then some of them had all of them had a comic book, but only some of them had the graded comic book in it. But the box was $200, and already on eBay, all of them are selling for $1,000. And someone just sold just the graded comic book. It was like the first one. I probably have to make a video about this, but it went for $875. So I was like, damn, dude, I wish I got one. I would have sold that instantly.
Well, they go on. I was gonna say they go on sale officially tomorrow.
Okay.
They just don't have the full package. Is that the difference?
No, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. It was a pre-sale at Comic-Con.
Yeah, so
That's
you had to
all it
be at
was.
Comic-Con to get them, but then they go on sale to the public tomorrow.
Yeah,
Is it the same thing?
yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, people were really upset because it's the main sizes were just out already, trying to like trade, and it seems not as well done as in the past.
Well, last year it was crazy.
Same
like,
thing.
As soon as
Basically
people
the same
found out
thing.
about it, like preview night, people were like, "What is this? I don't know." I think my mom was the only one that had a chance at getting them because she scanned a QR code that night because they had sold out. But somebody said, "Oh, scan the QR code and you can order them today." And then like every single day after that, they were sold out. It was just nuts.
Sneaker world is crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Well, this sneakers, collecting, and then comics all together,
Yeah,
and then it's Marvel.
Yeah, anytime you do some sort of collaboration with sneakers, they go crazy.
Someone's getting.
Oh yeah, and some of them had that. Some of them had some original art in it. And I think there was like some one of one like sketch cover type of stuff. So
Dang.
I don't know who. I'm not sure who. I think is it Todd Knock who did the art? I think is.
I think
It was a different one for each. Like they were saying, Priest Lee did the Goblin one.
Yeah, the Green Goblin one.
Right.
That's so cool. I mean, I don't think they gave all those out, so maybe the public still has a chance to grab some of those tomorrow. You never know. You might be lucky.
How do you get it? Would you have to buy from their Kith site or something like that?
Yes. It'll probably sell out really fast.
Is it Kith though, or is it PSA that like what website would somebody go?
It's Kith.
Kith, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, we'll wrap this topic up with Kreese showing off his original art for the cover that he did for Green Goblin. He was highly motivated to go grab one, and he would have picked me up one if it was one, but it was only one per customer. So he wasn't out. So
Well, he did the art and he didn't get a pair. Wow.
Like
that's-
that, yeah.
the price too. That's what I said. I was like, you have to stand in line. Like, yeah, we have to stand in line.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm glad he was able to get some.
Yeah.
So, like,
I agree. All right, so that was Mickey's piece of news. Brian, your turn. What was your big piece of news? I mean, it might be something like you announced.
I don't know. I mean, I talked to Scott Snyder at one point, and he flipped through his first issue of Absolute Batman and like explained to me what it was. And I actually was really, when I heard about the Absolute line, I was like, whatever. They're trying to do, their own Ultimate line or whatever. So it didn't seem like it was something I'd be enthusiastic about. But what he pitched that he was doing with Batman, I thought was a really fresh take and like a fun, like if you're gonna, he'd had this legendary run, New 52 for Batman. So it's like if he was gonna go back, he better do something like different, and he's really going for it. So I think that was sort of the most interesting new thing that I found out about.
You guys heard much about that? Did you guys see the visuals for it? Because he looks very different. I would say.
No.
Let's see. It's the Nick Dragata one, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much is spoiled, which is why I don't want to say specifics because I don't know what's out there.
spoiler.
You had like the exclusive news, so I'm trying to find announcement.
I do always wonder for writers because you have multiple signings as well. So like how you're so strapped for time already, you have to be strategic.
Yeah, I think also, I just Carl and I went to this mixer thing on Thursday, and they asked how many San Diego Comic-Cons had you been to, and I've been to 26. So like I don't even. It's like all a blur, so I don't know that I even look around anymore. Like I just go from point A to point B. Yeah, I mean that. I wasn't. What happened?
You have to find that excitement once again.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you find it here and there. The Doom announcement I thought was really, really cool. But even in the drawing of the Absolute Batman, I was like, I don't know if I really like this version of it with the wings, but it doesn't quite look like that in the comic. So I feel like this even doesn't even represent like the best version of this Batman. And he does some really cool things, and I will say I feel like it's a grittier, definitely flipping it on its ear, the whole concept of Bruce Wayne and Batman and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So is it true that they're approaching this like their version of Dark Knight, basically? Because from what I heard, Nick Dragata is committed to this for like the next 50 issues. That was kind of like where his head's at. But I don't know if Scott shared similar sentiments or not.
Well, I mean, they're definitely I think they're doing it for a while, and he's not old, like so it's not Dark Knight in that it's like an older Bruce Wayne. This is a reimagined one, right? So I assume he's like probably in his 20s.
All right, ladies, what's the reaction to this? Absolute Batman. This guy's supposed to be 7 foot tall, right? He's like 6'6", and with his boots on, he's like 7 feet tall. That's what they said.
I mean, he had it all before. Why not just ruin it?
Yeah, leave it to Twitter to focus on his crotch shot.
I know. I was totally reading that. It was
I'm focusing on the legs. It looks like he's done some major squats. I'm like, show me your gym routine, bro.
Oh my god, he's like thick with 2 C's over here. Like, oh my god.
And I heard on the podcast that he was supposed to be like an everyday day worker, and he basically puts on this huge suit, and he.
That's what I was going to ask. I'm like, what is his way of not being recognized now?
Yeah, it's not Bruce Wayne, right? He's definitely like a new guy, right, Brian?
He's what?
He's not Bruce Wayne, right? This is like a whole new guy.
No, it's Bruce Wayne.
Oh, this is Bruce Wayne?
But he's not a billionaire. Is that?
I mean, I don't know how much is out there, so I'm not going to say one way or the other.
Oh no, I was just. I don't know anything about this, so.
Is this the main Batman title, or is this a offshoot?
It's a new line. It's like its own. I guess I don't know if you want to call it Elseworlds or what, but it's to me, like it reminds me of Ultimates because they're having a few different books that I think are like the absolute
reimagining, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Bruce Bane. He looks like Bane. Bruce Bane.
Yeah.
Bruce Bane.
I mean, he's definitely thick like the Frank Miller Dark Knight version,
Oh yeah, he's thick.
with 3 C's. Yeah.
3 C's.
So as described, it says characters are reimagined in a new universe that's entirely different, but integrally connected to DC's cosmology. So what that means.
Yeah, I mean, I hope people give it a chance because I think it is an inspired take. So
I love the connection to Rob Liefeld's Captain America.
Oh my gosh.
I like it. It's cool. I think the more I look at it, the more the design really stands out. I feel like it's good.
Yeah, and Nick Dragotta's done some better, I think better art of Batman. Like this was my least favorite image, which is odd because it's like the main one that they're going with to start.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, my favorite Nick Dragotta was his run on Batman Black and White, which he did like a mecha Batman, and it's basically a Batman that drives a mecha robot, which I think I talked to Brian about because we're fans
yes,
of that. I think
yeah.
Right here, this is the first appearance of art. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Next news. I think it's who was before Brian.
I don't remember.
I forgot. Was it the Omi Homies or Michelle and Justin?
I think it's Michelle and
We'll
Justin.
go with Michelle and Justin. Michelle and Justin, take it away.
Okay. Give us some news.
Well,
What was your takeaway?
I'm a really big Marvel Legends fan. I don't know if you can tell by like the collection behind you.
We couldn't tell.
You cannot tell that Marvel Legends are my jam. But I was at the Marvel cosplay meetup and Justin was like, check your phone. Because it was at the same time as the Marvel Hasbro panel.
Yeah, they were live streaming. Or some people was like
people were
tweeting.
like, they were taking screenshots and stuff. And as soon as I saw the image, I audibly screamed because I have been dying for this forever. Like I don't even know how long I've wanted this. But they announced a Lockjaw and Crystal like 2-pack, and I love the Inhumans. I love Crystal, and like Lockjaw is my little like he's my boy. So the fact that this came out, I was like, we went over to the Hasbro booth and we checked it out in person because they had it in the case. Stunning. No notes. Yeah.
Let me share the screen. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I feel like Lockjaw could be like
so cute.
Disney's,
Right? Like
Lockjaw could be like Disney's next, Groot cute character.
Yeah, I think so too.
For sure. Lockjaw is just like it's like just a big Frenchie that teleports, It's so cute.
What is the
Really big
background on Lockjaw? I've never gotten to Inhumans for some reason. I think because my mother was a piano teacher, and what's the name? The sound guy has that little thing on his head.
Oh, Black Bolt.
Black Bolt. He always has that like. What's that thing called? The sound thing?
Tuning fork?
Like a tuning fork?
And so because of the tuning fork on his head, it always was silly to me. So I just never got into Inhumans.
Well, like Black Bolt can't talk because if he does, like he'll kill everybody because his voice is his power. But basically they're like mutants, but they're Inhumans because their mutations come from the Terrigen Mist. So they also live on the moon. And when they come of a certain age, they're exposed to the Terrigen Mist, and that is what activates their mutant ability. And so the king is Black Bolt. He can't talk because if he does like that, he'll basically destroy you with like a is it like a
sonar projection?
Yeah. And then he's married to Crystal's older sister, who is Medusa, who has like hair manipulation powers. And then Crystal, she has elemental powers, so she can control like water, fire, and she was actually like part of the Avengers for a little bit, right? Yeah, I know she's dated like Johnny Storm. She was married to Quicksilver. And then I think most recently she got married off to Ronan. Like
Wow.
it was an arranged marriage, but then it kind of worked out. Like,
So what's with the tuning forks? Like, why is it on Lockjaw's head? Why is it on?
I don't know. I don't know that part.
It's probably a
Like,
Jack Kirby affectation.
It could be. It could be. But Lockjaw teleports. Like that's his power. And he's always with Crystal. Like that's her BFF.
Got it. Okay. Now that looks cool. I like it. I think they're getting deeper into the lore because I do feel like they typically reprint the same characters over and over again.
Yeah.
And now they're expanding into the universe. So I love that.
I love a deep cut. I feel like they've announced a lot of really good deep cuts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Inhumans. Here we go.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course, they introduce him and they Black Bolt and then blow his head off.
Oh,
Dr. Strange.
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Talk about it.
How about you, Justin? What was your big piece of news?
To be honest, we were all over the place so much. I don't even recall any. The biggest piece of news that I really remember hearing was the Doom. Everything else was kind of just like, oh, okay, him passing, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. All right, nothing really stood out to me, but I was on the go the entire time, so it's hard to pick one that really stood out. That was most exciting.
We'll save that Doom discussions for later in the stream because I want to hear everyone's thoughts on it. I have pretty strong opinions about it. So
Yeah.
Very polarizing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, homies. JD Max, I knew you guys were working hard this weekend, and you guys were at the meeting, so
I was gonna say we were working like really hard. We were busy most of the weekend, but I did see on her Instagram that Peach Momoko posted that she won cover artist. So I was over the moon excited for her when I saw that post. I have been a huge supporter and fan of her work for years, and I had the privilege of meeting her twice, and she actually recognized me because I was a little cray, but it was really cool.
I'm not gonna lie, Jenny might be a stalker at this point. At this point, she might be a Peach stalker.
I think that I'm more of like a supporter / admirer. We don't have to use these strong words, babe. Like I just
the super fan.
Big super fan. Her work really speaks to me. I actually have that one right back here.
It's right there.
One of my good friends from our community got it for me because, like I said, we were really busy at the booth this weekend. But I mean, her work is just incredible, and she's so humble and awesome with her fans. I'm so happy she won, and yeah, that was the news that I thought was pretty cool.
Well deserved.
Well deserved, yes, for sure.
Yeah, she works really hard. Every time you see her at the convention, she's literally always heads down and just working away. And her husband, Yo, who's her manager, is the one that's like hustling him.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much incoming emails he has to process because I feel like just so many.
They're a good team, though. They make a great team.
They really, really do. And just a little backstory. I'm really big into Tokidoki as well. And they had a Peach Blossom series. And there was a little Tokidoki that the name was Momoko. So I brought it with me and I gifted it to her. And the next time that I saw her, her husband told me that it was in her studio. And I about died. Like I melted into a puddle. And I was like, oh, okay, that's amazing. And it was really, really cool. And yeah, they're both of them are awesome. She's incredible. Her art's incredible. He's like you could tell like when they're working together at an event, like he's such a supporter of her and very attentive to her and like her fans. So great team. You're right, babe.
So, Jeannie, I know she's very popular here, but as I'm scrolling through her Instagram, which I don't really do often, I do follow her, but I'm recognizing that there's a ton of work in Japan as well. So is she bigger in Japan than she is here?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I think she's big in both. I think that she's really, really creating a global audience and like fans everywhere. So if I was to guess, I would say both. I don't know, Carl, if you've seen her at events, like her line was ridiculously long. Like some people didn't even make it in that line. I was just happened to be really at the right place at the right time, really lucky. I got in line, and so I think she's creating a huge following. I mean, her work speaks for itself. So
Can I do a quick search? How many people
she's
know
known as like American artist.
What was that again? I think you kind of cut out.
In Japan, she's known as like an American artist for American comic books. So she's not as popular, but she does more of she doesn't really do like the anime manga conventions. She sticks to a lot more of like the American conventions and does a lot of those the commissions in that way. So
quick fact about our friend here. She used to live in Japan, and Core has a business that imports products from Japan. So she's
that's so cool.
Japanese expert.
She's definitely huge in comics. Like famously, her line in New York Comic Con like caused a fight one year.
Yeah, we had just left when that happened. Actually,
yes.
Yeah.
You, Janie, that caused that fight.
Yeah.
It was not me. Those were the actual stalkers, not the admirers. No, that was I felt so horrible. I think she was like horrified of that situation, and she did right by her fans. I think she opened up somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I forgot. Midtown Comics. I think she opened up to do signing there after that whole fiasco. So again, she's amazing with her fans, and I think that kind of scared her a little bit, maybe.
Well, it's kind of the interesting thing. Like, you know, Carl, I bet, or Brian and Carl, you guys probably have opinions on this, where it's like she was blowing up so fast, and I think that one year she was like, oh, infinite autographs, as many as you want. For like $10 or something, right? So, or it's like, or she was selling her remarks for like $20, or, you know, it was like something so cheap, but it was like, oh, I don't think you realize yet how popular you are. So there's like that turning point for a lot of people.
And Mickey, she wasn't charging for her signature.
Right.
Like the first time that I met her, it was just like sign as many as you want. And I thought that was super generous of her. I only had like a few comic books, and I'll never ever sell them, because every experience that I've had just talking to her, they're like my babies. That's my collection. I'll never let it go. But I think a lot of people might have taken a little bit advantage of that. But
she doesn't know the dark world of secondary flipping.
But I also feel like it's only been the last few years that like everyone's charging for signatures. Like, I've only started charging like literally a year ago. And it's because everyone else does.
We literally had a conversation about it, Brian. You were like, "Oh man, I don't feel good about charging." Like, and I basically told Brian, "Dude, everyone else charges, so why wouldn't you charge?"
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like all the years, like even like people will come with like their 30, 40 Flash issues or all their Injustices, and I would always just sign them. And I made the mistake very early on of my signature's way too long, and
oh no,
I don't have just a scribble.
Yeah, you need to scribble.
It's
now you're stuck.
I mean, it's a long scribble. It's a long scribble, and I've regretted it ever since. But I feel like I already started that. There's like, you know, hundreds of thousands of comics now, I think, that have that scribble, so now I got to do it. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, too, like, I think I've had this similar conversation with Mickey too. I think for me, like, if you put on like a business hat, it's like a no-brainer, right? Just to like start charging, because everyone's charging. But on the other end of it, I also feel like, look at the way Janie's reacting to Peach's, you know, generosity. I feel like there's something to that as well. I think there's like a bigger picture element to it, where I feel like there are a few other artists I could think of that still don't charge for signatures, and then they also want to make sure they keep.
That's the length of my signature. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Oh my goodness.
Massive pain in the ass.
You need to go by BB.
I was gonna say, do like a BB, like do like a
Yeah.
shorthand one and then a long one, and you can ask people. You're like, so the short one is free, the long one's gonna be $5 or $10.
That's what's me. Who does that?
I don't know if you've ever seen Brian Chang's autograph, but it's just a B and a C. Like his is perfect. Just
Yeah.
Kind of uses
let me
itself.
go.
It's like a B divided by C kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
equation.
Yeah.
But this was an interesting thing when a little while ago CGC did a partnership with JSA, and really quick, JSA is a autograph authentication service.
Yeah.
So like before, CGC would have to literally stand over, say, Brian's shoulder and witness you do it, and then if they wanted to grade it, they could say like, okay, we saw it happen. But now they have this service where they'll verify it through whatever processes that they do, and it was interesting because for me the conversation was, there are a lot of artists that might say, hey, if this is for you, Mickey, like I'll just sign it for free because I just know it's for you. But if it's like, oh, you want me to sign 20 copies and, you know, I can get the, you know, implication that you're going to go flip them or you're going to sell like 19 of them or 20, then I'm going to charge you. But now that they have the service where you can do it without the watchful eye of CGC or whatever, to me, that was my indication that all artists and writers should just charge, because essentially everyone has the option now to sell your signatures and remarks.
Well,
and stuff.
people also do the whole thing where it's like $5 for signature, $20 for CGC, or you know what I mean? Signature.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but right. So now, I guess my point is, the $5 I can still get at CGC now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you, at this point, you
You
might as well
circumvented that.
Yeah.
Or some artists say if it's personalized, like if they put 2 Michelle or 2 Justin on there, it's free. That way, like,
Yep.
who's gonna buy a comic that's
Right.
like personalized to me? You know?
Right.
That's brilliant.
Really good point. I mean, do you guys have a preference? Do you know if this has gone to market yet, Mickey, on this whole JSA thing? Where does it maintain this value?
It has, and everyone was like, oh, there's, for you guys, if you don't know, the one with the black header, that one is the one that they authenticate after the fact. The pure yellow means that they saw it happen. Everyone was like, well, clearly the pure yellow one where they see it happen is going to command more money because that's totally verified, but nobody cares. It's all the same. You know, people see the gold, they pay the price.
I actually like the black border better. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than like the green labels they were getting it. And then they would just write on there like comic has written on or has like name of this person on it.
Yeah.
But with that it looks a lot better.
All right. Max, your turn. Any news? Any major takeaway?
How do I follow up on Janie's amazing story? Mine's so
that was a
cliche.
hard one.
The Robert Downey Jr. that just broke the internet. Like I don't know what else to say. That was it, man.
Well, I think
We'll save your comment for later. Then we'll go to Robert Downey. Again.
Yeah.
But for me, that was the news. Like, man, that's crazy. It was all over the place.
That's a discussion. That might be a whole stream on its own.
Yeah.
All right. So I do want to throw out there, if you ever go back to Japan, maybe Max and I can tag along, and I may or may not go on my own to go look for Peach's studio.
Like I said, she might be a stalker. So.
That's not a problem. I can help you out. There's a funny story about Hayao Miyazaki I have, but that would have to, and somebody actually going to his house and him coming out of his house and actually greeting him. So I think the whole thing about her signing is she wasn't used to the American market where like the Japanese are very, thoughtful and like, yeah, oh, just sign this. That's fine. Don't want to cause any issues, where more Americans are like, yeah, I have 30 or 40. So I'm sure we can find out where she lives. She'd be happy to see what it sounds like. So I think it'll be fine.
Hi guys, I promise I'm not like crazy or anything. I just really admire her work.
Super fan. She's a super fan.
We're all crazy on here for different reasons, so we're fine.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
All right, Court, since
Don't
it's on you, what was your big piece of news? We didn't see you either. I think all of us said
I
We didn't-
know. I'm bummed. I missed the Zero Ghost signing. I wasn't gonna make it. I wasn't gonna make the Comic-Con, but I was local, so I came up with a ticket. And I was really just going around seeing friends and people who were working in the industry and saying hello. I wasn't even trying to really buy anything, but I think one of the big things that happened to an artist that we know, Lee Kosei, for Kosei Art. Actually, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, but he got an Inkpot Award, which is pretty big. So he's done a lot of work for Star Wars. He works like personally with George Lucas. He's just a wonderful person. His family's there. He's actually local in Chula Vista too. So just amazing. He does like amazing, huge pieces of art. So I was able to kind of swing by, and I missed all of this whole process. But that's one good thing that happens, because I didn't really hear too much news other than the big Doom announcement. So
Yeah, shout out to Lee.
We're
He's
so
a good
happy.
guy. So that's awesome that he won that.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
So yeah, he definitely deserves it. Just so humble, and everybody I've met in the industry has been just so great. So yeah, there's him and his wife right there, Maria.
So the Inkpot Awards, was that like a separate night to the Eisners, or?
I think so, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know how they give it out. I know the Eisners are like the really big one, but I'm not sure how this one is given out. But
Yeah.
definitely.
I think
close to
Oh, go ahead.
Last year, I moderated a spotlight panel for Janice Chang, and they presented her the Inkpot Award at her spotlight panel. So they just
Oh, that's amazing.
It's funny you say that, because I think Keanu Reeves got one too for Berserker this past weekend, and I think it was at his panel too.
Yeah,
So,
maybe it's maybe they get a panel and then that's when it's presented.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Given an individual's contribution to world comics, science fiction, fantasy. Oh, that's cool. Congrats, Lee. I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, he's done great work.
Actually,
and he's
don't know
been
too
around.
much about the award, but yeah.
Great news. That's great news. And meaningful too, because we all know him and he's been a good friend. In fact, he hosted us last year at San Diego Comic-Con. So we're at pretty much all weekend. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Ford. Sarah, your turn.
Wow.
Over.
I just found out that Harrison Ford was going to be Red Hulk. And
Wait, what?
freaked out. Red
What?
Hulk.
At San Diego?
Yes. And I didn't find out through a panel. I found out through walking around visiting friends. I was just finally brought a partner in crime for cosplay.
Walking around like this.
Yeah,
I
we did
love
Silver
it.
Surfer,
Oh, that's
but I wanted to be
amazing.
Silver Surfer first, so we just were both him. Noreen,
okay.
I was Noreen.
That's such a cool video. I
Yeah,
love
it was
it.
really fun. But we were, he had never cosplayed before, like in a convention setting, so he was such a trooper. Paint stayed on, and he didn't realize you can only walk a few feet at a time if you did it right.
Yeah.
So it was absolutely incredible, but I heard that news through the grapevine, and I was just obsessed with it, kind of still obsessed with it all day. And then we finally saw Wolverine and Deadpool last night, and I got another little tease about it. So that's what I'm all about right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Harrison Ford, it felt right for him to be Red Hulk, actually. It's pretty dope. Because
He can do whatever he
the last
wants.
Indiana Jones was a little, I don't know if it got too much traction, so I'm really glad that he's joining that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my guilty pleasure for sure. So that was exciting for me. Even if it's not quite that, it's close enough for me. Look at it.
Oh my God.
That's
Oh,
great.
he was red.
Hey, he got red, sure. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
He actually turned
It
into.
does get red.
Although I did not see this at all.
A girl can dream, right?
Yeah,
I hope the rumors are true. They better be.
I
he's
actually
definitely
felt
going to
like
be. He's definitely it.
he's it. But do you
He's
feel like
definitely it.
this news was like kind of overshadowed by our DJ?
Yeah, you didn't really hear about it, but
Yeah.
I was just like, give me that little nugget of joy.
Well, because it had been a little bit out there. I think
Yeah.
the Robert Downey Jr. one, that was truly a blindside to everybody.
Right.
So,
Well, how do you guys feel about people playing multiple characters? You know, you've got Captain America, Johnny from Fantastic Four. Like some people feel like you should pick a character and do that. But then you've got, you know, Deadpool
Well.
as well. Like, how do you guys feel about that?
People have feelings about things, especially in
It's serious.
fandom.
people definitely have
They have,
opinions.
they have opinions, yes.
I feel like that's a whole
And,
other discussion. Too.
I know it's very heated. I get like sweaty.
And everyone has a microphone to shout into, and that's for
I
sure.
know. So mixed feelings on that one.
Yeah, no, that one's
Yeah.
tough. I think my reaction to it was surprising, and I'll say this because after watching Deadpool, I'm sorry for any spoiler alerts. Well, actually, no spoiler alerts. I think they did a really good job of resetting the MCU. I think it kind of gave us like a very clean slate going into the future. But then with Robert Downey Jr., it kind of brought us back. So I don't know yet if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It just I would be cautiously optimistic, but it did throw me off for sure.
It's giving me kind of Nicolas Cage, who just like is like, I don't care if I can do it, but I'm going to be that. So I'm like, I'm apprehensive, but why not? Like the universe can go on forever. If that doesn't work for us, they can do something else with it.
Who's got
It's got to be a variant, right?
100%?
It doesn't make sense otherwise.
Yeah, I don't believe that he's not a variant. No matter what they say, if they're like, no, he's not.
They're
I'm
gonna
like, no, you're
it.
wrong.
I
It's
think
not.
so.
It's not. You guys are lying. It's Cat. He's got to be. But that's my opinion.
But isn't
Or
there
nobody
like,
Everyone's
notices he
like,
looks
"It's
just like
heated
Tony
subject."
Stark.
What's that?
There's
No,
some
it's like
sort of-
nobody notices.
right? I think there's an obscure storyline
right?
where Doom goes
Yeah.
and takes over Tony Stark's body or
Yeah,
something
like really
that.
like a random
Yeah.
story. So they could be pulling from that. I don't know.
Still
I mean,
variant.
when you get that big and you're like, hey, I'm kind of like over being Iron Man. I want to do something.
Maybe he missed the MCU. He's like, I want to come back. But the MCU's like, or Kevin Feige's all, I killed you, bro. Like, you can't come back.
Sometimes you have to die.
No, I think they
He was always coming back, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know,
But
I agree.
don't you think that
always-
like just
he was always coming back. I do think that this is probably like a different choice for how they were going to bring him back than maybe what they thought. But I feel like he was
As
always
somebody-
on the dartboard.
Sure, but as somebody who like watched all like the first 10 years and like I was super excited when they started making the TV shows, like I have not been paying attention for probably 2 or 3 years now. Like I'm just not as interested in these stories. Like I think they needed to do something, you know, and I think this is a big move. Like, you know, the Russos have made, you know, probably with the exception of Black Panther and Iron Man, all the best MCU movies. You know, obviously, you know, it's debatable, but like they made really good MCU movies. So, you know, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and just hope for the best.
Yeah,
True.
I think. Yeah, I'm open to it.
The VV community is big. We actually went to go watch Deadpool on Thursday with the VV community. Have you guys heard much from the community on what the reaction was for RDJ?
Yeah, it's mixed emotions all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this. I haven't read comics, like old comics, and I don't keep up. I just watch the movies. But someone was saying that they felt like Iron Man was somehow related to Doctor Doom or something like that. Like he was related to a few characters, and maybe that's how they were bringing him in. But there was like a lot of speculation, like this is happening, that's happening. Oh, I can't believe it. It's just a lot of emotions. I think the main one was just shocked and surprised.
And everybody was just trying to do the math of how this could possibly work. And just
like that meme where you're doing all the calculations, like
Oh,
There's so many memes. That's the best part.
Yeah.
It's definitely caused a lot of funny moments in people's minds.
No one was prepared. That's the thing. No one was prepared. Exactly that Iron Man and Doctor Doom
The
one is
Spider-Man
hilarious.
meme.
That's funny.
No, yeah.
That's funny. I need that on a T-shirt.
Just go on Etsy. You can get anything on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
I mean, if I was, who knows what they're going to do, but if I was tasked with writing it, I mean, I would say, you know, Iron Man is the one who made time travel in Endgame. Therefore, I just would think that this is going to be his variant, who's a Doctor Doom, who feels like he needs to end that, right? Like, so, you know, they had to move away from the Kang storyline, so they just do the same Kang thing, where there's like this multiversal war, but instead of Kang doing it, it's really Iron Man that did it. That would be my guess of what they actually do here.
I mean, I kind of like this thing that someone put together. Prime examples of why second chances are important. You know, it's true. Look at all these guys. I totally forgot about, you know,
Michael B.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan.
He was a great Johnny Storm, though. I liked him in that.
Yeah, I just rewatched it last night because I was like having conflicted feelings. And I'm like, I know I'm very like traditional, but then you make an exception when it's like, man, they kind of didn't get the best chance before, and he's matured so much. And now I'm all confused about it because I did enjoy him as that. I was like, oh, this is going to be the precursor to his real role, but it wasn't. They were both really fantastic.
I mean, I'll share where my disappointment lies is the whole variant thing, because I felt like with Deadpool, sorry for those of you who hasn't watched it, I felt like they addressed the concept of variants was not working. So I thought they're done with all that. So the pure fact that we're speculating that RDJ was going to be a variant, it makes me feel like, oh man, like.
Well, they can't be done with it because Fantastic Four takes place in the '60s, and I hear that they're in the Avengers movie.
Yeah, I also think it's just it's one thing if you're having like wait, I don't want to do a spoiler. It's one thing if you're having another actor come through to cameo, you know, in a thing, but it's another thing if you're like the casual fan who 3 years from now is like, oh, Robert Downey Jr., Avengers movie. Wait, he's not Iron Man? I don't get it. And if it's just like you don't acknowledge it, you don't address that it's a variant, or you're just sort of saying like, oh, yeah, he just happens to look like Tony Stark, then I think that might be a confusing thing and like a big hang up for like the casual audience.
I mean, Robert Downey also killed it in Oppenheimer, and he didn't look like anything he looked like in the Marvel movies. So who knows?
True.
By the time
they put makeup on him and stuff.
Exactly.
And now that he's an Oscar winner, he gets that Oscar winner salary for his Avengers movie.
I don't think he needed an Oscar to get the MCU salary. Didn't he make a boatload of money?
I think this is I think he's going to be the highest paid actor of all time for these Avengers films. I think it was the news story that came out.
What if he's not going to be a big part as everyone's like thinking? Maybe they're just giving us like a red herring, like, oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. And then they do like a Carrie-Anne Moss thing and they like murder him.
I don't believe Robert Downey Jr. does that.
I mean, if he's asking,
he wouldn't agree to that.
It would be very bold, but it would be like the most expensive swerve in film history.
I mean, who knows?
I mean, he's got a 2-picture deal. I mean, he's going to be the focus. I mean, the real question is whether or not he's Tony Stark as a variant. Like, what's the attachment to Victor Von Doom? I know there's a segment of fandom that feels like that would be undermining his heritage. Like how they handle all that will be really interesting.
Yeah.
Can I show you guys something? We'll move to events, and this is our little recap that we shot over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
What's Zero Ghost, Carl? Who's that?
Oh.
Hey, I know that booth.
Oh my gosh, you got Swaggle House?
Look at the background there.
I don't know what's going on with the sound here. Does it work here?
We're famous.
I'm a bad driver on this StreamYard thing. Can't unmute your guests because they choose to mute themselves.
It's okay. Just do the voiceover.
Yeah, just tell us what we're
Tell us what Zero Ghost. Tell us what the signing is, girl.
Here's what we did. I was transitioning us to our next chapter of discussion, which is events. And, I have to highlight the two events that we did and how I also met Janie and Max, who were amazing hosts at the Vivi booth. We partnered with David at the Vivi team, and we were able to do our digital drop for Zero Ghost #1. And this is a lead-in to our Kickstarter launching next week. So it was awesome just to be at the booth, connect with folks.
And she's abducted in the early part of the first issue.
There we go.
Escapes and spends the rest of the series finding out what happened to her, family. I'm excited for people to see the book. It's the first time people are getting their hands on a physical copy. So yeah, pretty exciting.
We have a little bit of a line, which was nice. Some friends come through. You guys went all out, man.
All right, well, we are with Mannix, variant cover artist for Zero Ghost. All these people here eagerly anticipating him to, do some signings for his cover. Mannix, talk a little bit about this project. How did it come about, and how did Carl approach you with it?
Carl is my friend. Sometimes he buys artworks for me, and then he approached me one time if I wanted to make a variant cover for Zero Ghost, and he sent me a digital copy, and I said yes, of course. I look at all the covers and think about how I'll make it different, I hope it works.
I definitely think it works. You got a lot of people excited to, have you sign it.
Wasn't Mannix the coolest guy ever?
Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
I do want to shout out Mannix specifically because he is one of the most humble, down-to-earth, most approachable people that you can come across. I was so, I don't even know what the word is, just grateful to have met him in person. Such a great guy.
Yeah, and he has so many fans. I literally met up with some of my art collecting buddies, and the gift they gave me was a Got Mannix shirt that I was wearing.
That's such a good brand.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it.
It's cool because he's I'm gonna fast forward this. You don't need to watch all that. Yeah, you can watch that later. That's a little recap. So for me personally, I think why that was very meaningful to me is you guys probably don't know this, but Zero Ghost is actually the very first title that 24/7 Comics worked on, and it's been 4 years in the making. And we went through all the lessons that we needed to learn to even be able to put out Evermind last year. And so it was definitely really meaningful for us to actually be able to drop that and put that out to the public. And even the reception of it all on the art. And like Brian, I don't know if you guys knew this, shout out Mannix, but also shout out Brian, because he worked on Star Wars for the last 10 years. And he says no to Marvel and Lucas for signings. He literally has not done one signing that he was invited to because, he's just not into it. But for us, he came out. He drove a few hours, like 3 hours, did the signing, and then he took off. And so it was such a pro, and it was just a very meaningful moment for me personally. So, and thanks, Mickey, for being a host there as well, and as well as Sarah showing up to help with some of the crowd engagement. It was super, super great experience.
This year felt really amazing. you didn't really know what to expect because last year we didn't have the studios and everyone was kind of not sure what was going to happen. And it really did feel pre-pandemic. It was just a beautiful time.
It was bigger news than RDJ.
Also, the word's getting around. How was it for you guys, Janie and Max?
Man, so I'm just grateful. Carl, you were incredible. As soon as we met you, it was like, this guy is so cool, so amazing. And honestly, that opportunity probably wouldn't have presented itself if the Zero Comics wouldn't have dropped on BB. And I got two myself, and I got the Mannix one, which is a rare. I can show you guys right there. So we have different rarities. We have common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. And I just happened to get his. And then I got a common as well. But meeting Brian and Mannix, like we had a chat. Oh, well, is it okay for me to show and tell?
Yeah, show and tell, please. We could jump right into it.
Yeah.
So because I got it on BB, I was able to redeem this one in physical form, and I got to chat with Brian. I have his signature right here, and then Mannix was nice enough to write my name, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I need Max's name on there too, and I'm like, can you write Max's name up there? And he was like, of course, I'll do it for y'all. And I got to chat with his wife. I love meeting artists. They come with all sorts of different personalities. Some are more calmer, quieter, introverted. I feel like that was what Brian kind of personality. Max and I got like just like a private little chat with him where we talked about Max's personality. His personality were kind of similar. And
Brian Chang.
Chang,
Yeah,
yeah, right. And then Mannix, we met the next day, and it was just amazing. It was just amazing. And Carl, you're amazing. And yeah, we had a good time.
Thank you. You too. I really enjoyed spending time with you guys, and you guys were so on top of it. Literally, like thinking like 10 steps ahead of me. So it just made it so much easier to have a fruitful event that weekend.
You're so welcome. It's an honor to be around these artists that just pour out, their souls and their artwork, and you want to do right by them. And yeah, it was so much fun.
No, I agree. So yeah, since we broke into events and show and tell, who wants to go next? I mean, Michelle, what the heck did you guys pick up? I know you guys were like literally at like panels. You can talk about events, pick up, whatever.
I do want to show mine. It's real quick. I just picked up.
Sorry about that.
I picked up one thing at the con that was my favorite thing, and it was actually presented to me by the person across the booth from me because it was my stunt double. This is Sideshow Bob.
Oh my God.
It's me.
Just saw Max's hair. It was his curls are a little tighter today, but they were a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And she's like, "This is you," and Max is like, "Oh my gosh, yes!"
Hilarious.
So that was my one Comic-Con pickup.
I love that. That's the pickup right there.
Yeah. All right, who's next? Let's go.
I mean, I would do show and tell, but I've already shared how apparently at San Diego Comic-Con, if you try to get exclusive stuff, you can't get it. It's impossible.
What?
Shout out to Cameron right here in the chat. I shared this story. I'll share it with you guys again. Cameron was like, he says, I can't believe Mickey is showing his face online after not getting me a Spider-Boy Funko. So Cameron was like, hey, Mickey, like, can you go get me this Spider-Boy? It's at the Funko booth. And I was like, yeah, sure, I can do it. And so it was like preview night. It was Wednesday. It's literally the minute that the show opens. I'm like one of the first people there. And I go up to the Funko booth and I'm like, okay, well, how hard can this be? Right. This is like pre-show. And I go up to the guy and I ask him, I'm like, hey, like, so how do I get in line to like buy the Spider-Boy Funko thing? And he just looks at me and he gives me like this super smug smirk. The smirk that says, you naive collector. You think that you can just come here to San Diego Comic-Con? You think you can just get in line and buy something? He's like, no. You needed to have to have waited in this line, to got into this raffle, to win this wristband, to potentially get drawn, to then wait in the other line to maybe get the chance to get by. He just was like, no, you're not getting this. So I came home empty-handed. I did not buy my KIF shoe thing or Comics Lab, nor did I get the pop for Cameron. So Cameron, you're gonna have to go over to eBay and buy it for 5x. So that's my story. That's my don't.
He was like, "You mere mortal, you mere mortal."
Yeah,
That's not
I
gonna
shared
happen.
I shared the story with Michelle, and I think Michelle, you were very quick to be like, duh.
It's like sending it to a dungeon on a map. Cameron.
It's not impossible. So what I do is like I like to talk to the workers, get their story, be like, oh, how's the con going? You make friends, and kindness really does go a long way.
Sure does.
It truly does. Like I feel like we definitely got hooked up with some stuff, or like a little bit of line cutting. I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to get them in trouble. But I think if you're just like super nice to them and you're not mean, like, kindness will go a long way. Because we ended up getting some pretty cool things. Like
Got a lot of cool things.
So
more cool things than we should have.
we did come home with more cool things than we should have, and then what I thought. So I think one of the coolest things there was the upper deck booth. Like we always go to upper deck, usually on Thursday nights because it tends to be kind of quiet. But we hit them up on preview night.
Make sure the preview night ones were.
Yeah, so we hit them up on preview night, and we were able to score like upper deck cards.
Oh,
Those are so
Yeah, so we did ourselves, and then we were like, hey, we're gonna come back and cosplay. So then we did. So we each did a cosplay, and we came back, and like I got Jean Grey with the X-Men background. I didn't change my background.
wow.
It looks so good.
Oh, that's so awesome, guys.
Dude, that's sick.
So good.
The performances are good.
Yeah, they were so good. Like cosplayers coming up there, the guys said that people were asking
Yeah, 'cause
how
the
to
first night.
how to get like the superhero filter on there. They're like, how do you get the costumes on it though? And they were like, oh no, those are cosplay. Those are their
Oh
cosplay.
my
That's hilarious. Are you gonna try to flip those on eBay?
I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna buy our cards. Like
You never know.
Yet.
If you
Yeah.
sign them,
maybe.
Yeah.
You know what? We thought about taking them over to PSA to
did.
getting them slabbed.
you should.
Like sign and slab. Like
I was just gonna ask, how are y'all gonna keep them like safe? Are you gonna?
I haven't decided
know. We'll
yet.
figure it
Like,
out.
yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Maybe
They're
we will
so
take them to
cool.
PSA and get them slabbed. But the second thing is also like super fun. I couldn't believe how short the line was for this and how easy it was to get in there. Like I thought it was going to take us a long time, but we hit up the Pop Yourself booth, and we each
Oh my
Whoa.
Guys!
Custom stuff.
You can do that?
Oh my gosh, that is the coolest!
I'm over here buying Sideshow Bob's because he looks like me when you can actually do yourself.
This was so cool because these were convention. Well, you can still pop
You can still
yourself.
pop yourself. But you get the little funk. You get
You
the
get
little.
the-
I
dog
want to
food.
see
You get a
yours.
dog
It's
pool.
so cute. Yes,
God.
you did it.
Oh,
Oh, that's
I
cool.
love it!
Everyone that did it got a free dog pool, and that was only available at San Diego Comic Con,
No.
as well as some accessories like this little, like the
Hand-
TVA,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's like a
my
time
accessory.
thing. Yeah.
like that was
Oh,
only
you
at,
guys are so cool.
yeah, and it didn't even take that long. Like I just asked, I'm like, hey, where's the line for the Pop Yourself? And it was behind the regular line, and I thought there were these other lines in front. Like I thought we were gonna have to wait a while. We got up super fast. The guy's like, just download the app, log in, and then you just create it and come back. You get an email saying when it's ready. We were in line for less than
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Less than that.
Less than 10 minutes. I was only there because a girl was using my Wi-Fi.
It took us longer to get a picture with the Funko statue than it did to
Yeah,
to
to
fill these
yeah.
things, to customize these.
And then we just came back, and you get like a nice like hard plastic case,
It's
which is
really cool.
super cool. So these were fun little souvenirs. I was like, oh my gosh, this, and then the trading card, like
That's so cool.
Like,
I
have
love,
fun.
love that.
So Lorenzo wants to
Oh,
see
they
the
want to
dog.
see the dog pool.
The dog pool.
It's so cute.
I love
I
it.
can't take
Dude,
it.
I wish I got that. I didn't know about that. That's awesome.
That is so cute.
That's amazing.
That's such a congrats, guys. That's awesome.
Thank you. And this was like on the last day.
That was the
too.
very last
The
day,
very
like,
last day.
A couple hours before we left.
Yeah. We were over there. I'm like, let's just ask. Let's just see. Always ask. Always ask.
Was it before your panel or after your panel? Speaking of events.
This was before.
That was before my
Justin's panel.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to come hang out with you guys as my last event before
Yes.
San Diego was over.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I know Sundays are hard to hit up panels sometimes. So, but I mean, Justin's panel was like, I mean, you should talk about it. That was an event all in itself.
Yeah, Justin, please do. It was very well attended as well. Let me see if I could find the little video I took.
There's a photo.
Oh, there's a photo. Yeah, I took a little video. That's the first time I've seen a panel like at the end of the convention full.
There was a line to get in too.
And there was a line to get in.
Yeah.
I could not believe that.
That's awesome.
It was a packed house. Did you tell about your panel?
I do this. I've been doing.
I want to hear about it.
I've been doing an AAPI representation panel probably for the last. This is my third year at San Diego, and I got a couple big names on there. Kevin Kreider from Bling Empire was on there. Holly Chow, the voice of Jubilee from X-Men '97, and then Chen Tang. He was Hong on the show Warrior, and then I had an artist and writer Su Lee on there. So it was
Yeah, so it was very well attended. So just a quick look at the room. It was packed.
It was so packed.
Yeah, and that was at the end of the day too. So
it was 3:00 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Congrats.
Thank you.
Really cool.
Went very good.
Yeah, it did.
All right. So who's next? Who's next with events and show and tell?
I like this show and tell.
I can show and tell more stuff. I'm just saying.
We also have a lot.
I know.
No one else wants to.
We
I
got
don't
a lot
want
of
to take
stuff
anyone's
also.
like time, but I do have two big things. I guess I'll show this one last. So I got a chaser from Tokidoki, and in the box, it actually had a little card to redeem it digitally on VV. So I have the digital one and the physical one.
And these are so hard to get. Like people were buying 3 boxes at a time and still not getting this chaser. So
And
What were
I
the
have
odds
a
for
little.
that?
I'm sorry.
What were the odds to get that one? Like,
how many were there?
Really, I don't know the actual numbers, but it's like really, really limited, guys. Like, I'll tell you a quick story. I went to buy like a huge box. I think it has like 10, 12 maybe. And I went up to the girl, and I'm just like Michelle. I always talk to the workers because sometimes they're so busy. Like, but I'm just like, I like to hang out with them and give them their flowers. So I was like, hey girl, am I gonna be lucky? Am I lucky? And she's like, well, she tried to explain to me the blind box aspect. And I was like, no, I know. But like, am I going to have the chaser? She's like, honestly, I think you should look around and see what else you want. And I took that as a sign from the universe, and I picked up like 2 extra boxes. This was in the extra box that I picked up. So shout out to the girl who was working at Tokidoki, because this is the reason why I have this little guy. And now I have him on BB too, and he's in my pocket. I can put him in AR, do videos and stuff. So super exciting. And then I just have to show one more thing, because shout out to my girl Peach.
Oops, wrong one. Here, I got this one.
This was
Oh, nice. TMNT.
the turtle
guys,
foil.
is this not incredible? Like seriously,
That is
Peach,
stunning.
shout out to my girl Peach, and shout out to my girl. And I just have to give a huge shout out to my friend and VV community member Mahalo. He found this one for me, and he actually got them. It was off site of the actual con, but
you had to go searching for it.
you had to go searching for it, but I'm definitely gonna get this graded, and I just didn't have time to go. But yeah, thanks for letting me share. That's like my favorite thing to do.
Now we all know what to get Janie for Christmas.
Anything.
That's a little obsession there, but yeah. So the question for you, Janie, is it PSA or CGC? If you're gonna get that graded.
Ooh. Hold on. She actually has 2 of these, so she can do one of each.
I know I can do one of each. But I was gonna say, Carl, don't be putting me on the spot like that, bro. Like picking sides. I don't know.
Watching.
I know. Or you could be
I
like,
don't know, maybe I have to consult Mickey on this one. You know, like you're the comic guru man. So I don't know. You gotta tell me which one after we're done with the live.
Yeah. No comment. No comment. They're watching.
Right.
Yeah.
No comment.
That man is media trained. Look at him. No comment.
I know. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna no comment. No comment, Carl.
All right, who else got some stuff out there? What's going on? Brian, what'd you pick up? Did you pick anything up, or did you attend any events that were like highlight for you?
I did a couple panels. I didn't really attend any other events. I did go to SeaWorld and I pet a beluga whale. That was nice. But like I said, I don't really pick up stuff anymore at shows. Like, it's all like a blur to me, you know?
I also feel like you're like a minimalist because when I see you, you're always giving all your stuff away. Like,
yeah, I mean, you know, I don't need more stuff.
You don't catch yourself
There
at
you
the one, you don't catch yourself at the one vendor that's got, vintage magic or anything like that, just kind of side-eyeing the tables.
You do buy magic a lot, actually.
I do. I buy way too many magic cards, and I do have an obsession with every time I go to Disney, I get a lightsaber. So, like, I've got, my latest one here is Qui-Gon. So that's my latest Disney one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
hold on. Let me show that one more time, Brian. I need to pop you out.
We're gonna need to see the full thing.
I have to get the, well, I have to get the thing then.
Oh yeah, the screen. Legit stuff. I need to see the legit.
No, I mean,
Wow, look at
this.
I love this so much.
Is that interchangeable? That tube?
Yeah.
Whoa! Reveal.
Oh, maybe I should lower the lights to make it even better. Here you go.
Oh, yes.
There we go. Nerding out.
Light show.
Light show.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You gotta do a move though, Brian.
Sick.
These are awesome.
Chop that whiteboard in half.
Yeah, I can't. I'll live through it. It's not real. Don't worry.
A good blade weight.
So
that's awesome.
That's so
awesome.
I love that.
You can never have too many lightsabers.
You
I agree.
Did you pick anything up? And you're in cosplay land. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I didn't. I really don't actually shop that much. I was after the Venom A6 shoes, but obviously we all know how that went. I was after Batman Pop, so I failed all around. But I did obviously get my variant cover signed, which was sick. And I also brought my old Pop that I had gotten. My like nerdy Barbie one that I done. She's holding cash, just like asking. So I kind of like brought her around towards the end of the day and just reconnected with like Ed Peggy, who used to be big with Pop, and I kind of just got a lot of cards and actually networked this time, and that's like the greatest gift for me because we have so much stuff. I know we all do, but just kind of spending the time even while dressed up, remembering connections and taking the time to do that is so invaluable because the last 5 years, I think I was kind of rushing through and overwhelmed. So just really meeting people and meeting their crews as well. And meeting Janie and Max, I didn't even know that they were with Vivi. I just like was like, "Hi, you look so awesome," and like we just like were friends already. And then I was like, "Did you get your 24/7 pin?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm actually working with you guys." I was like, "Oh, wow, amazing!" So it was just really cool. It was the connections for me. Like I would have carried stuff around too, but I really didn't even need anything. It was just so awesome. hopefully cards next time. I think Michelle and Justin, your cards I was seeing you guys get and pose for, and then we came back in costume and did it. That's my
It's
goal.
for free. Like you could do this for free
If you could get in them.
if you could get in line. Like it got harder.
That's
The more people that figured it out, like it got harder.
what? It's
Well,
beautiful.
Michelle, we're going with you, and you're gonna be our you're gonna be our.
Listen, I will take you around. I'll be like, you go here first on this day. You go here on this day. Like we have a spreadsheet. We
So great.
we literally have a spreadsheet.
I'm inspired.
Love it.
I'm inspired. How about you,
It's kind of
Corey?
what it takes.
Oh, sorry, Nikki. You're saying?
No, I was just saying that that's kind of what it takes. I feel like,
It is.
you know, you got to have a plan.
Mhm.
I'm really bad with the plans. Like I try to do everything ahead of time, so all my pickups happen from stuff I've been, acquiring over the last year, and then that was my pickups. But Court, back to you.
I agree. You need a plan, and Michelle has a plan. Like I'm gonna go with her next time. But the only thing that I got was I got these made of my cats. These are from Hannah Hillam. She is on Instagram. She makes really funny, like little comics, little four squares. And she was an artist alley. And I got actually this one last year. And this one is of Wicket, one of the cats. And she's a little bee. She's never happy. She doesn't like to be pet. This is my cat that passed away. And then this is my other cat, Nikki, who's like a little dum-dum. So she did a really good job expressing their own little personalities. And so I'm just going to go with framed. But I just love her little funny. She does like little quirky, funny. I love her. She's a hilarious comic artist. And she also does like this series that's really quite funny, drawn by Memory. And it's just on her Instagram. If you see it, you scroll down a little bit and she'll pick like characters like Ronald McDonald. And they crack me up because she'll just draw them like really crazy and silly. So that's really the only thing that I kind of picked up, other than probably some like free swag here and there. Got an initial D. I guess that's coming back now. That's popular now.
I know.
But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, Kadasha had a big booth for the whole initial D, and it was a pretty like I saw lines the whole time. I feel like people are excited about something with the whole car racing scene coming back. But yeah, it's very.
They came up with a new series like MF Ghost, which just makes me think. Anytime I hear MF, I immediately think of the bad words. So I'm like, I won't say it online, but I'll say PG. But it looks interesting. But if anybody's in the car world, it's very unrealistic. If you have a Mazda racing a Porsche 911 and winning, that's not going to happen. But it's it is what it is. So.
It's like Fast and Furious. It's getting. I mean, Fast and Furious are like superhero movies now. These guys like
yeah. I saw the first Fast and Furious, and that's all I need to see. And then when my friends would visit me in Tokyo, they'd always be like, "Oh, this was in Tokyo Drift." I'm like, "Shut up! I don't care." And they just come to everywhere we went, and they're like, "This was in Tokyo Drift." I'm like, stop it." So it's kind of mean to me.
Hey, don't sleep on Tokyo Drift. That saved the franchise.
That was like the best movie.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
It turned it around.
Yeah.
Turn it around. It was like the second movie, wasn't it?
It was like the third.
Okay. Sorry, it's the third one.
Turn it into a trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the second one didn't do well, and then the third one was like not straight to DVD, but it was like kind of on that level. But it actually did really well. So then it was like, oh, okay, we can do a fourth one and actually do a theater release again. So that was kind of like it did kind of save it, breathe new life into the franchise, and they never look back.
All right. You're a fan?
No.
Okay.
I
just know this
told
one.
you there's Tokyo
No,
Drift.
but it's
No,
that's
I
way
don't
less
like it.
at that moment.
I do think it's amazing that to age myself. I mean, I was in high school the first one, and I watched it in high school, and now high school kids today
watched
still
it in
watch
high
it.
school
It's amazing.
Yep.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
No, I live my life 1/4 mile at a time. So how I roll.
All right.
Carl, did you get anything?
I did.
Carl got
And it was very fitting for Court to show her kind of artist alley pickup because I think her and I just know each other because we're always hanging out around a lot of artists and we're always trying to support them however we can. And so I'll throw my stuff up here and I'll share what I picked up. So I picked this up literally on day one. And this is basically 1 year's accumulation of commissions that I got from Mannix. So I don't know if you guys know Sword of Azrael. So when Batman had his back broken by Bane, this guy Azrael took over, and
that's
it
cool.
was
That's
my
nice.
favorite comic book. So it's hard to hold up, but Mannix made the triple, like a remade the triple cover.
That's
like
awesome.
Wow.
Because I just love like his style, and he brings like such a new,
Same.
beautiful element to it all. And then my favorite artist is Barry Windsor Smith, and Mannix has gotten so popular with these cover recreations, especially some of the older ones. So this is Conan #1, which is a cover
That's amazing.
of Barry Windsor Smith that Mannix recreated for me, and he's so good with the details, like going all the way down to drawing these details by hand.
Carl, that's
That
a
is
pure
cool.
commission
That's
for you.
And then the last
The
one that
color
no one will have any idea what it is Unity #0. There's a independent comic book publisher called Valiant Comics in the 90s. And Barry Windsor Smith was also one of the kind of founding artists. And this was like an iconic cover because it was one of the first, Mickey, feel free to correct me, but I think it was one of the first comics that was given away for free. So in the midst of this crossover, so think of it as like Endgame. Jim Shooter, who was the lead editor over at Marvel, he moved to Valiant and he created this huge like crossover event, similar to I guess like the Secret War. And this was the cover that showcased all the main characters, and Mannix recreated this for me. And what he did too is all the red is glowed in dark. So
Oh, that's so cool.
it really doesn't do the color justice on screen, but these were my pickups.
Wow.
From
That's awesome.
from the
Those are
comic.
amazing.
They were really fun.
Yeah, his art is so fun because it's like Matt Groening style. That's kind of what.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an inspiration, I would guess.
Fred Hembeck too. Like he's a big inspiration too, I think.
I also happen to have this off camera. It was funny. Here's
Oh,
your,
that's hilarious.
Oh, hilarious.
Why do you have this? Was that a pickup or you just?
yeah, I just had it. It wasn't something I got at San Diego Comic-Con. I just happened to have it next to me.
Can you hold it up? I'm gonna put it side by side. I think
There's your Barry Windsor Smith.
Look at that.
How crazy is it that you have that right next to you?
That is so wild.
Isn't that cool?
That
how,
is
like,
so
Look
cool.
at that.
Mannix also is so good about making the recreation, but also owning it so that it looks like this. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's cool.
I was pretty happy with that pickup. Yeah, what else? Anything else to cover, guys? I think we kind of covered mostly everything. What else do we have loaded up? We have another video we loaded up for Zero Ghost, but I don't know if you guys had enough of Zero Ghost for the weekend.
Let's see.
Or else we could premiere it here, Mickey.
Yes.
What are you going to premiere?
This video. Do you want to show it?
Oh,
Ooh.
No.
you're driving. You're driving.
All right, we're gonna show it. So this is gonna be like the world premiere. So to kind of share context, We
Ooh.
are launching in 1 week. Obviously, we talked about the event, Vivi, and then actually while we're here, if you guys don't mind, especially the audience, we are going to be launching in 1 week. And right now we are at 386 followers. We're really trying to get this to 400 before we launch. So if you guys don't mind just coming on this page, even everyone on the stream, if you haven't done so yet, just click notify me on launch. And it actually helps because the Kickstarter algorithm will automatically bump you to the top if you actually have X number of followers when you jump. And so this is actually going to be the world premiere of the video. Actually, Mickey, did you premiere on your channel? This may be like a secondary premiere.
I did, but that was a fake world premiere. This is the real world premiere.
This is a secondary world premiere. So this is a private audience, and we're gonna go wide this next week.
Growing up in this city taught me.
All right, this is what Mickey did. So
Growing up in this city taught me one thing. Everyone makes a deal with the devil. I just never expected mine to be real. You see, this place is run by 5 families. And in order to get anywhere in this world, you need to work with them. Play by their rules. That's what my father told me before he went missing, before he was taken. Alliances built on a foundation of deceit. And now I make new bonds. Ones that can never be broken. Power is the only true pact. It's why I've traded everything for it. With it, I'll take my vengeance. Everyone here makes a deal with the devil, including me. It's why I'm now a shell, a carapace, a vessel, a zero ghost.
Woo! Yeah, that was awesome! Love the video! Oh, guys, that was so cool.
killed it. That was awesome.
medal.
Feeling very blessed. So how we kind of leave everyone off with something really fun. So since we're kind of wrapping up, why don't we go around and just kind of let the audience know where they can find you, what you're up to next, and then we'll kind of wrap it up for this one. And it's been quite the party, guys. It's been super fun. So why don't we start with Court? You came in at the end, so why don't you start?
You can find me on mostly just Instagram. I just have my own personal one. It's at superior_court. But also if you either add me on there, I have a private, but I also have a art Instagram where I post sporadically. I'm trying to post more, and it's at Koeshi. That's spelled COUESHI. And you can see some of my art there, and hopefully I'll post more. So my apologies, but that's where you can find me.
Thank you, Court. Brian?
Yeah, I'm on all the socials at Brian Booch, spelled phonetically BRIANBOOCH. That's where you can sort of find me. I'm not a huge presence. I'm more of a voyeur online. And next, I don't know what I'm doing next. I have a couple of projects. I have one that I have 2 that are not announced yet, so I can't say. I am working on the screenplay for the thing I'm doing with Kyle Higgins. We have a book called No One, and we just wrapped up 10 issues. We had 10 episodes of a podcast that was in world, where characters from the comic book make a podcast, and we did the 10 episodes with Rachel E. Cook and Patton Oswalt. And now we are writing a true crime superhero documentary that sort of covers what happened in the comic book. And so we'll be shooting next year, and hopefully it'll come out next year.
Super excited about that one. That was a huge panel. Homies.
Go ahead, Ray.
You can find us on all platforms, Omi Homies. We pretty much just have fun and play with our digital collectibles, put them out in the world, make funny videos. We just have a good time. That's really all we do.
Yeah, and we'll be at D23 next week actually, with Vivi. So we're really excited about that. And then obviously we have New York Comic Con as well. But we just
Designer Con too.
Oh, Designer Con, yes, in Vegas. That'll be really fun. But we just invite everyone to just come and hang out with us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We just have a lot of fun, and we love to spread positivity. And come and check out Vivi, check out how our community is. We're amazing, a bunch of fun people all over the world, and we just all connect. So,
and if you see us in person, make sure we're huggers. Just
Yes.
make sure you come up and give us a hug.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not joking. They are definitely huggers for sure. Michelle and Justin.
Well, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Michelle Waffalo, or you can just search Michelle Waffle. I come up too. We have a joint account, adventures.in.geekdom, where we try to chronicle our toy hunting and Comic Con adventures. But
slacking on that.
I've been slacking a little bit. But we have some.
We understand that.
We have some in-person stuff coming up. I have a cosplay like meet and greet with some other really amazing cosplayers this Saturday at Toys of the Universe in Torrance, California. So if you're in the OC, we don't get out there that often. Come through, just say hi. I'll be selling some comics from our personal collection, as well as like stickers and prints. Like, you don't have to buy anything, but you could just come hang out. We will also be at Amazing Las Vegas the following weekend, and we'll just be hanging out there. We might cosplay, we might not. Justin also has an Instagram and things that he does.
Yeah, you can find me at JT_Otero. I'm pretty much just tagging along with her wherever we go.
I make him go to all these things. We are literally all over the place, though. Yeah. I mean, LA Comic Con coming up soon.
Uncanny Experience.
Uncanny Experience in Minnesota if you're an X-Men fan. Uncanny Experience is an immersive event where you can enroll in Xavier's and meet the X-Men, create your own persona, meet comic creators and voice actors, artists. It's so much fun. It's a great party. We love it. I'm Jean Grey and Dazzler. Justin is
up for grabs.
We'll
see what I'm gonna
okay.
do.
He might. Yeah. I mean, I'm officially those characters for the mansion. Justin might be somebody. But yeah, we're all over the place. Come say hi.
Whenever you guys come to Texas, we definitely got to hang out.
Yes.
Yes. I want to go to Texas so bad.
Oh, guys,
make a
come
trip.
through.
I know. We were going to go to Dallas Fan Expo and plans fell through, but like, I know.
That's where we were
at. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, we should have went.
Next year.
Okay.
Next year.
Next year. We're also trying. I'm trying to convince Justin to go to New York Comic Con. So
you have to, man. You have to.
Justin.
Or the weekend before.
I get it. I mean, I feel tired just hearing about all the things you guys are gonna be at, and so I get it. It's a lot.
Because New York is what, 2 weeks after LA?
Yeah,
I think so this year. I might even skip LA because of that. Because
no, you have to come.
Okay. I'll be there.
Carl.
So you got nicely.
At least one day.
All right. Thank you, folks. Make sure to follow them. Sarah?
Guys, I think I might be going to Decon now, but I'm kind of in this mode where I'm just like, I have a million cause that I've never done, and I'm open to suggestions, and I'm open to kind of like hitting the ground running. So we'll see what the year brings. Kind of like overnight life. So I kind of want to go full geek this year. So stay tuned. I'm here to support now, and we'll see where it takes me.
Let's go. Nikki, any words to close us out? Oh, you're muted.
Oh,
you're
My bad. If you guys are watching for the 24/7 comic side, I'm Swagahos. I got a YouTube channel here. I talk about vintage collecting quite a bit. A lot of interesting news going on in the collecting space. If you want to hear more about, PSA and things of that nature. Outside of that, we have, we'll be working on our 24/7 comics. A lot of work to do, a lot of titles to put out. I have my own comic, Sanity, that I already had my Kickstarter earlier this year, and I'll be fulfilling that pretty soon. And I hope that I'll have them there at New York Comic Con. So, hopefully I'll see you guys there.
Nice. I like how Mickey dropped the announcement already. We just talked about it over the weekend. All right, New York Comic Con. There we go.
I didn't say.
Everyone gets the lowdown here. I love it. So, for those of you at the Swagahos channel, this is Choi, the publisher for 24/7 Comics. I'm the guy that's been trying to convince Mickey to get into comic art. So it's my fault when he finally purchases this first one. Anyways, we'll see you soon at New York Comic Con, like you mentioned. We have some cool collaborations coming up, and you'll find us at all socials at 24/7 Comics HQ. And please do comment below and subscribe. And thank you, everybody, for making it out for this show today. It would have not been the same without any one of you, because San Diego was just so big this year, and there was just so much coverage. And I think amongst our eyeballs and experiences, like, we just scratched the surface. So hopefully we'll have more and more stuff to talk about in the weeks and days to come.
I have a lot more to rant about. I know people on my channel will appreciate, so I will deliver on those.
All right, folks, let's keep the rantings going. And that said, thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.